Hey guys, it's Archuleta. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about submitting to poetry magazines. Something that I have touched on before, but we're really going to dive into it today. Which magazines to submit to, how to go about doing it, and how much they'll pay. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave me a comment down below. Now, if you want to find out about how to submit to poetry magazines, then stay tuned. About a year ago, well, over a year ago, I did a video about 5 ways for poets to make money, and I will link that video down below. But I talked about 5 ways that poets can make money because we know that it's hard out here for a poet. Anyway, one of the ways was to submit to poetry magazines. And a lot of you reached out to me and said, okay, which magazines are the best ones to submit to? How do I go about doing it? And so we're going to talk about that in this video today. There are a lot of literary publications out there, but one thing to remember is that none of them are a speedy process. When you submit your work, you may not hear from these publications for a while, but the point is for you to get into the habit of doing it. The more you submit your work, the more comfortable and confident you're going to feel about submitting your work. Again, it's not a speedy process. And when you do your research on these publications, keep in mind what their open and closed periods are. Some will open for submissions for a while, and others have certain months that you can submit your work to. Just keep in mind what those dates are so that you won't be submitting during a period that they're closed. The good news is if your work gets accepted, not only will you get paid, but you'll also become published. One of the first magazines that you can submit your poetry to is Poets and Writers Magazine. This magazine is only available at Barnes & Noble. You can get it online or in the store. This magazine is published bi-monthly, and it's going to be in your best interest to subscribe to this magazine because not only will it have listings of publications and contests that you can submit your work to, but it's also a great resource. Every issue there's going to be a ton of articles and profiles of different writers and poets. It's just a really great resource for you to refer to. I subscribe to the magazine and I save it every other month that I get it because I refer to it so often. It's just great advice. It's great to read how other writers are handling their writing life. And in addition, you're going to get a ton of different contests for you to enter into where you can have your work published or be a part of anthologies. And you'll definitely want to utilize this magazine as a good resource for you all the time. The next magazine to submit your work to is the Poetry Magazine. They accept non-published work, which means that you can't have submitted this to any other publication. You have to check their website through the Poetry Foundation because they have open and closed periods that vary. So you'll want to check the website to make sure that what the dates are and that they're open so that you can submit. They have a $300 minimum rate, and you'll need to check the website again on the Poetry Foundation to find out what their submission guidelines are. Next up is Boulevard Magazine. Boulevard Magazine is always interested in unpublished writers with exceptional promise, is what they say on their website. But you can submit up to 5 poems per submission, and their entry period is between November 1st and May 1st, so it's coming up here soon. Their rate is between $25 and $250 per poem, so you'll need to check their website to make sure of their submission guidelines and how those rates vary. Next up is EPOCH Magazine. EPOCH Magazine accepts poems also from unpublished writers. This magazine is published by the English department at Cornell University. They accept all types of poems, but they only accept up to 5 per submission. The rate is $50 minimum per poem. And again, check EPOCH Magazine's website for their submission guidelines. Next up is the Southern Review. They are a literary journal that accepts poems between September 1st and January 1st. They do charge a minimum of $3 per poem that you're entering. However, their rate is between $50 and $200 per submission. These are just a few literary magazines that I've given you a little bit of information about to submit your work. I'm going to leave links to all of these magazines down below. Make sure that you go to the website and check out what the specific submission guidelines are. So even though submitting to literary magazines is not going to make you rich overnight, what it will do is keep you writing. You'll always be writing, always submitting. It'll keep your skills sharp, and it'll give you the confidence to continue to write and continue to submit your work. Get your work out there to be seen. If you have any questions or comments for me about this video, make sure that you shoot me an email. I will leave that information down below. Continue to write, continue to submit your work. I am definitely rooting for you. Good luck with submitting your work to these magazines and keep doing it. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.